Hi, welcome to Pet Pals. This is the show where we introduce you to just a few of the adoptable animals here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. I'm Bethany Davidson, the humane educator here, and here with me is our volunteer Tammy Benson, who will be acting, as always, as our animal wrangler. Our first pet for you today is one that we've seen many times. He is a favorite here at the shelter, and he is our longest canine resident. This is Drago. He arrived at the shelter back in September. He's a 1 to 2 year old black and white pit bull mix, and for whatever reason he just keeps getting overlooked. And that's something that we just can't understand here at the shelter, because Drago is an excellent dog. You know, if he's wearing his harness and he has his front clip attached, he's excellent on his leash. He likes to cuddle. He is done well with other dogs here. He knows basics like sit. He will trade. We worked on teaching him touch, which he seems to know now. He's done great in a home environment. We have been sending him to foster care on the weekends to give him a little break from living in the shelter. And they had other dogs there. You know, there was some initial grumbling, but nothing that's too crazy. He does need to build some, just refine his house training a little bit, because he had a few accidents, but that's always to be expected in a new environment with a new schedule. One thing that I will say is that he's a bit of a happy peer. When he sees someone that he knows and loves, he gets a little excited, and he just can't control his bladder there, but you know, that's something that can be worked on as well. He loves his toys. He will destroy a toy, so he needs to have a lot of things only supervised. He can have Kongs and really hard type nylabone toys when he's by himself, but when he has toys like what we've provided, he needs to be supervised. He doesn't seem to eat them. He just tears them apart and spits out the pieces, so that's a good thing. One of the most important things to know about Drago is that he does have food allergies, so he is eating a salmon-based food. So that's keeping him healthy and happy, and you know, itch-free, and his tummy's much more content. So you want to make sure that if you're interested in adopting Drago, you are committed to keeping him on that special diet, so that he can just feel good as he goes about his day. Drago is a great dog. He will sit on your lap, he will cuddle with you, he can go hiking with you, but he's also perfectly content just to sit by himself. So he has a good mix of everything depending on what you're looking for. We do encourage that he go to a home with kids that are a little bit older, maybe 10 and up, just so that they understand things like you don't want to try to steal something out of his mouth, and they can learn trade, so that if he has something he's not supposed to have, you know, there's going to be a trading situation there. But all in all, a wonderful pet who would probably thrive in any home. If you are interested in Drago, you can visit him here at Frederick County Animal Control. This next guy is Ozzy, and he is super handsome. He's a blue pit bull mix. He's about 8 months old, and we get a lot of interest for Ozzy, but for whatever reason, the applications just aren't working out for him. So we're giving him another chance to shine here on Pet Pals today. He was recently neutered, so we're hoping that that will help with his overall energy level and behavior a little bit, because he has just been full-on naughty puppy, and he needs a family that's going to understand that he is still a puppy and needs to learn basic things, like it's not acceptable to jump up on people, and what you can and can't put in your mouth. And those are all just things that are part of the fact that he's a puppy, and he needs someone who's going to provide him with stability, structure, and training. But you know, he has a very good personality. He's very sweet. He's kind of the goofy, kind of you know, handsome jock dog, if you will. I've seen him do dog to dogs with other dogs, and he has been very accepting of that. In fact, he was great, and the other dog just didn't like him. He's been excellent with children of all sizes. He's been good with, you know, babies and older kids. But he does, again, just need those things to be worked on. We've changed his color code to purple just because he can be a little mouthy, and he's not really loving life in the kennels. So it would be great to get him into a home environment where he can really thrive. He was brought to us because he was too much to handle in an apartment. So he is a big dog. He's still a puppy. He's growing. Right now he weighs 67 pounds. So he's going to probably put on a few more pounds. He's going to maybe grow up a little bit more, but he's definitely going to fill out in the next year or so of his life. So being prepared to have a dog that's going to be a larger one in your home that has a high energy level. So apartments, unless you are willing to really make sure you're putting in the effort to get him walked and exercised, might not be the best fit for Ozzy. 18-pound Abe here is the only small dog that we have on the adoption floor right now. He is about 5 to 7 years old, and he is a tricolor Jack Russell Terrier. He was brought to us because his family, they were separating, getting divorced, and they felt that he would mostly be crated all the time and that he wouldn't have the best life if he was spending all day, every day inside a crate. So they brought him to us so that we could find him another home. Based on the information they've given us, he's very calm, he's friendly, he walks nicely on the leash, he's used to nail trims, he's used to vet checks, he's used to baths. He has lived with 2 cats, so if you have a cat in the home, that's something that he should be able to tolerate nicely. They say that he is also both house trained and crate trained. So, you know, if you're looking for a dog that's much smaller, this is going to be the only option that we have right now. But that doesn't mean that he's not still a high energy dog. He is a terrier, and so Jack Russells are known for having lots of energy. They like to jump around and run around and bounce around. Even at his older age, he's still going to have plenty of energy left in there. What you also want to remember is that if you are taking him home, even though his owners say that he is house trained, he's not going to be house trained in your home. He's not going to know your schedule, your cue words, and all of those things. So any dog that you adopt from us, whether we're identifying that they keep their kennels clean or not, whether the owner says they're previously house trained or not, you want to retrain the dog just to make sure that they're learning your way of doing things, and you want to give them a little bit of grace period there. When we behavior assessed Abe, we found that he's very friendly when you approach his kennel. He has no reaction to the other dogs. He's easy to obtain. He's very easy to walk. They were unable to test him for food aggression or object guarding because he just wasn't interested in any of the things that they gave him. But he loves to be petted. He was very eager to jump into Tammy's lap, so he's, in addition to all of his other qualities, a bit of a lap dog who likes to cuddle and snuggle. Sometimes, depending on how big the furniture is, he might need a little assistance there to hop up on your lap. But if you're interested in Abe, because he is a senior, he would be going home for a $20 reduction in his adoption fee. So instead of $92.50, he'll go home for that senior $72.50. We'll make sure he's current on all his vaccines. We'll help you re-register the microchip. We'll take care of all that stuff for you so that you can get him into your loving home. If you are interested, the first step is going to be to visit us here and then fill out an application once you've met with Abe. If you wanted to come in, we are open to the public 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. This oversized lap dog is Fifi, and she is a 2 to 3 year old blue merle and white pit bull. She is a gorgeous little girl, but life in the kennel has been stressing her out. So while she's still available for adoption when you're walking through the shelter, you will likely not see Fifi. She will be in a quiet area of the shelter where she can relax and kind of decompress and just feel nice and calm and relaxed. If you are wanting to see Fifi, because you saw her online, you heard about her somewhere else, all you have to do is call and make an appointment, or let us know that you're interested in her, and then we can start the steps to make her available for a visit for you. This is something that we've done in the past for animals. It just makes their stay here a little bit easier for them. It is hard to live in the shelter for the animals because it's just not a traditional environment. It's very noisy. There's lots of people all the time. There's lots of smells. Sometimes it can just be incredibly overstimulating. It's hard to be behind a barrier all the time and be seeing all the other dogs walking by. So it can affect them in a lot of different ways. So we do our best to make sure that we can make all of our residents as comfortable as possible while they are here. So we've already gone and gotten Fifi up to date on all her vaccines. She will be spayed before she leaves. She was brought to us as a stray, and then we figured out that she did have a name. However, it was Beefy, and Beefy's not really a great name for a cute little girl like this, so it's been changed to Fifi. As you can see, she loves to sit in laps. She loves to give kisses. She's super sweet, and staff and volunteers just really genuinely love her. And she is thriving in that much quieter environment. We don't really have any restrictions on the type of home that she can go to. However, she has done several meet and greets with other dogs, and she just wasn't really into those dogs, so it could have been specific to those particular animals, or it could be that she has a preference of being an only dog. The only way you're going to know is if you come in and meet with her. That's something that we want everyone to do if they have an existing dog and they're thinking about adding another one from us to the mix. But just be prepared that with Fifi, it might not be something that's going to work out. It is better to know that ahead of time than to send her home and then have to bring her back. And you know, what we're doing is always in the best interest for our animal and the community at large. Fortunately for us right now, our rabbit population is low. We only have 2 rabbits that are available on the adoption floor right now. One of those is Squiggle, and she is a 2 to 3 year old Rex mix. She's mostly white, but she's got some black gray accents there, and she's got that great eyeliner going on around her face. She came to us as a stray. So when you're outside looking, you know, in your yard, you can definitely tell a difference between the regular wild rabbits that live in, you know, in the wild, obviously, and house rabbits that have somehow managed to escape. Sometimes if they live in outdoor hutches, they find their way out, or sometimes rabbits even roam free in houses like cats, and if a door was left open, they might have been able to get out that way. But they do make their way here astray. So if you've lost your rabbit, you still can come here and check, just as if you would check if you lost your dog or your cat, to see if someone had brought it here. Because we get rabbits here as strays actually quite frequently. But Squiggle, that's how she made her way here. So we don't know a lot about her. We don't know necessarily what her favorite you know, things to eat are, whether she likes to be held or not. We're still figuring those things out. I have seen volunteers in there petting her. She settled down pretty nicely on Tammy's lap. Initially, she didn't want me to be picking her up, and a lot of rabbits don't actually like to be picked up and handled that way. So just kind of taking it slow with her and learning what she likes and doing it in a way that makes her feel confident and comfortable. If you're interested in making a rabbit part of your family, it is important to do research. They are very different than you know, the typical dog or cat. They have very specific needs. They can roam free like a cat, but you know, if you have a dog, maybe not great to let your rabbit roam free then. And you also have to make sure that you are rabbit proofing your house, because rabbits love to chew. They need to chew, so they could chew on your electrical cords and things like that. So not only would that be unsafe for the rabbit, but it could also be a fire hazard for your home. So making sure that you've taken that into consideration. Also, they have dietary needs. They need to have their pellets and their fruits and veggies, and they also need their hay and all of these things. They can be litter trained, just like a cat. They use their litter boxes, but they also like to hang out in there. They need, of course, things to chew on, and they need things to keep them occupied and mentally stimulated, just like our cat and dog population. Our first cat is Patch, and we have a lot of purple color-coded cats on the adoption floor right now, and people might wonder, what's that mean? What does that mean? Does it mean that they're not a great cat? Because the purple cards can have some behavioral problems, or just things that you kind of have to live with. So that's not something that you should be afraid of if you are an experienced cat owner. So purple cards happen for a couple of reasons. Number one, sometimes they're just really super shy cats that you're gonna have to be very patient with, and they're not great for people who maybe have young kids or have very active houses. They do better in kind of quiet homes with experienced pet owners who can help them become more confident. So that's one of the kinds of purple color-coded cats that we have. The others are like Patch, and Patch is just a little opinionated. I mean, she is a strong, independent woman who knows what she wants, and she's not afraid to tell you. So if you're an experienced cat owner and you understand body language and you can kind of read what she's telling you, then she's going to be a great pet because first off, she loves attention. She asks for attention. She loves to be petted. She rubs up against the front of her cage, just wanting people to scratch her, you know, around her face, on her back. She just lays there and just soaks it all up. So she's great in that regard. She just has a big personality, and a lot of people, that's an attractive thing. They look for cats with big personalities, and Patch definitely has that. She is front to clawed, so that means that because she has that, doesn't have that primary method of defense, that if she does feel threatened, she might be more inclined to be a little nippy. So just keeping an eye out for that. Otherwise, she does great with all of our volunteers. She is super soft. She has the softest fur. And one of the great quirky little things about her is that even though she can't scratch on the cardboard, she loves cardboard. She loves cat scratchers. She tries to scratch on them, but mostly she likes to sleep on them and roll around on them. So it's kind of like her version of a massager, and that's pretty much where you'll find her all day, every day. She has two sides to her cage, but she always sits on the side right up against the front of the cage where her scratcher is, and she lays on that and she just lets people rub her, and that's kind of what she likes. She was brought to us because the family said they were moving and the new home would not accept pets. So she has lived with other cats. She's lived with, it says babies, toddlers, children, men and women. She says she's friendly, that she can be a little nervous, but we really haven't seen that nervous side of her here at the shelter. The only time I've seen her be nervous is when we brought her out here at first. She was a little uncomfortable, was just doing a little crying. She walked right into the carrier for me. I put it up into her cage and she walked right on in. She just has a lot of potential, but she is one of those cats that's going to let you know that she's not thrilled with something that's going on in her life. So you just have to be willing to accept that part of her personality. Unfortunately, it seems like a lot of animals, you know, we hit waves, and sometimes there are more that get returned than others. And right now we've had a couple of return to shelters on our adoption floor, and Pumpkin is one of those. She was adopted from us as a 4-month-old kitten named Alana, and now she's Pumpkin, and she's 1 year and 8 months old. And so she's here looking for a second chance at a forever home. She's not the only one. We have Butters and Cosmo that are on the adoption floor that are returned to shelters, and several others. Sometimes it's a long time before they make their way back here, and sometimes it's a shorter period of time like it is here with Pumpkin. We also have Gemma and Jax and several others. So the good thing about that is that we are more aware of their history than maybe some of the other animals, and we have a lot more vet notes because we have the vet notes from every visit that they've been here with us. According to the family who previously owned her, they said the family was unable to care for the cat, and I'm not sure what that means. They didn't elaborate, but they did say that she's used to being around other cats, that she is used to being around children of all ages, that she's calm, independent, playful, and friendly, which basically just describes a cat that's about 1 year old. So, you know, she wants to do what she wants to do when she wants to do it, but she's eager to be petted and cuddled when she wants to do that. She likes to play. She's not a cat that is going to be necessarily hiding when your guests come over. She's going to, you know, probably insert herself in the gathering. She likes to sit in her hammock, but she will come down for attention, or what's more likely is, especially with our volunteers, she waits for them to pet her while she's in her hammock, aka her throne. So she likes that attention. She is very willing to be held. I was holding her, she was purring, she seemed to enjoy it. She's a little uneasy out here, which is a common thing. It's a new space, there's lots of different smells. She's not allowed to go down and explore, which might ease her anxiety a little bit. And there's this heating and air fan that keeps blowing that is often something that the cats here just really don't enjoy. So that's why she's a little squirmy right now, but in her cage she's very different. All animals have a different adjustment periods, so you do want to make sure that if you're taking a pet home, you are giving them the appropriate time to settle in. It's not something that will always happen overnight. It might take a few weeks, a few days, a few months. I've had people tell me it even has taken a year. So you just want to be really patient with any animal that you're adding to your home, and understanding that for them, the shelter is home until they get accustomed to their new situation, which I don't think that Pumpkin here will have a great deal of trouble settling in. This next guy is another one of our seniors. His name is Salem, and he is, we've estimated him to be about 8 to 10 years old. He's a little overweight, so he could use a diet plan, exercise plan, maybe some laser pointer there. He needs a good brushing because he's overweight. It can be harder for them to reach all areas of their body to groom themselves properly, so they need a little assistance, just a good brushing, which is good for the cats anyway. It helps pull out all that loose fur so that they're not ingesting it when they're grooming, creating hairball issues. And it also can be a relaxing thing that they really enjoy. Salem likes to be petted. He likes attention. When I opened up his cage, he came right on out. He wanted to, interact with me. He wanted to explore. So, don't discount older cats. They can still be very, very active. An important thing to understand about Salem is that he requires a special diet. So his owner found him as a stray. So Salem's had a rough couple of months here. They found him as a stray, and they kept him for 5 weeks, and they surrendered him to us because they said he was spraying. So it could be possible that he was put out in this previous home for spraying, and then he was found because he's such a nice guy. They took him in, they put him out, and brought him to us because he was, again, spraying. The sad thing about this is that Salem wasn't spraying because he's bad, or he has a behavior problem. He was peeing on stuff because he had a urinary tract infection, and he also has what are commonly referred to as urine crystals. So he needs to be on a special diet to make sure that those things don't build up and create an issue for him. And all of that peeing that cats do is a symptom sometimes of those illnesses. And now that he is on the proper diet that's going to allow those things to not reoccur, he's doing fantastic here. He uses his litter box. He's very affectionate. He's very friendly. He's a great cat. But unfortunately, because the people who were in his life before weren't willing to take him to the vet, they missed out on an opportunity to have a great member of their family in Salem. Our next cat is just an easy, average, happy, friendly, playful guy. This is Cliff, and he is about 1 to 2 years old. He came to us previously owned in a sense. He and his friend who was adopted from us, we named her Peaches, were being cared for. They're strays, and they were being cared for by a woman, and that woman unfortunately passed away. So other people in the community, I guess, were able to trap these guys and bring them to us so that we could keep them safe and get them into a nice, permanent, forever family. As I mentioned, Peaches, the girl that was hanging out with him, she's already found her forever home. She's been adopted. And so now Cliff, as we've named him, is waiting for his chance at a forever family. He is just super cute. Number one, he's this super handsome orange or cream tabby. He's just a gorgeous color. And he has a great personality. He likes to play, but he likes to cuddle. He's just kind of easygoing. He handles being in the shelter really nicely. And he's just a great cat. So hopefully he'll be finding a home soon. But before he goes, we will make sure that he is neutered. We've already gotten him up to date on his vaccines. We've microchipped him. So he's going to be set to go. And all he needs is a family that's going to, adore him, basically, which he seems to be happy with being adored. He wants to sit in your lap and be cuddled, and you can pick him up and carry him around and play with him. So he's just going to be the last piece to complete a family for sure. If you're interested in Cliff, you can come in and visit with him here. Our visiting hours are Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturday from 10 to 4. His adoption fee will be $97.50, and that covers all of those preventatives and vaccines that we've given him, his neuter, the microchipping, his room and board while he's here. So you really can't beat what you're getting for that price, especially with a great cat like Cliff. The last feline guest we have for you today is Sable, and she is definitely a volunteer favorite. One of our volunteers wishes that the policy was different in her rental property so that she could take Sable home. That's how much she loves her. Sable has had quite a tumultuous last couple of months. The family where she'd always kind of lived, there was a situation there where she was no longer able to live there. So she was fostered by someone else for a period of about 4 months. But Sable, being again another strong, independent woman, did not like living with the other cats. She wanted to be the queen of the castle. So they brought her here to us so that we could find her a more suitable home. Now, we have not said that she absolutely cannot go to a home with another cat. What we have said is that she cannot go to a home where there are other female cats. So she needs to be the only female cat, but she would definitely prefer to be the only cat in your home. She has, however, lived with dogs with, it seems to be, no issues. She's been around children. She can be a little shy, a little nervous. It says that she's good at, using her litter box and all that stuff. So what we've noticed and learned about Sable is that now that she's in an environment, even though it's a shelter environment, that's much more stable and consistent and structured, she is starting to thrive. Volunteers come in and she hops right onto their lap. That's where she's happiest, is sitting on a lap or in her camo bed. She will even give hugs by putting her arms, her paws around your neck. She just loves to cuddle. She doesn't, this is the traditional cat on your lap pose, but Sable will also do the thing where she's on your chest like a baby and is crawling up you. She just loves attention. She loves to be loved. And, it's something that is one of the best features and best qualities about her, but it is something that you have to keep in mind, that she would do best if she can have all of your attention all the time for herself. So she doesn't really enjoy sharing that with another cat. She is, right now, we color coded her purple because she was still adjusting to life in the shelter and was a little timid, a little sassy. But now that she's comfortable, we're changing her color code to green. So just, a typical active cat that maybe doesn't, scrambles to get away from you if you're making her do something that she doesn't like to do. But she's super sweet. She's about 6 years old, so she would go home for that $20 reduction as a senior in her adoption fee. She just needs somebody who's going to provide her with stability and love. If you think that your family can provide all of that and more for Sable, you can visit her here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center, 1832 Rosemont Avenue. We want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching today. We hope that you enjoyed meeting some of our adoptable pets. If you didn't see something that you think is going to be a good fit for your home, please stop in and visit. There are many more to choose from here on our adoption floor. And we are open to the public for you to visit Monday through Saturday. We'll see you again next week.